Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Sean here from Team Love Thailand, and today we're going to go over our budget for the first 6 months that we've been here. We left California on July 26th and got to Bangkok on the 28th, and then we spent a night in a hotel, and then we took a taxi to Pattaya. So when we were doing research for moving to Thailand, we saw lots of people doing budget videos, and we saw people that were retired, said they had budgets between $1,800 and $2,000 a month. So I started with that number, and then a lot of the things we didn't know what it was going to be when we got here. Like, we saw people go over all the different things that they would have, and we're like, oh, that seems pretty good. But we didn't know what our rent was going to be. We didn't know what our visa things were going to be. So some of the numbers we didn't actually know. So we had a rough idea, but when we got here, we put it all down on paper after the first month so that we could see where we were, and we would set a budget that was reasonable for us. So here, we'll just go down the line. So first, we got here in July, and the first 10 or 11 days, we got a condo that we paid for by the month, so we wouldn't be in a hotel where we only had like 2 weeks and maybe didn't find what we were looking for within those 2 weeks, and we just didn't want to feel rushed. So we got a condo for a whole month, and so our first category is rent. And we have $556 budgeted because that's the condo that we ended up getting. We got a condo that looking over the ocean, and for moving to Thailand for the first time, it just seemed like a really good thing for us to do so that we could at least have that experience. And we've really enjoyed it here in Jom Tien, near Pattaya. All right, here we go. We're going to do an overview of what our budget is. Everything you see in the green was what our estimated budget was. Like I said, some of the things are a little bit more than estimated because we couldn't fill out those fields until after we knew what we were going to be paying. So we've got rent, we've got groceries, we got fruit and snacks, utilities, restaurants, drinking water, entertainment, Grab, Bolt for taxis in town, internet and phone, medical, life insurance, dental work, out-of-pocket medical expenses, prescriptions and vitamins, massages, incidentals, virtual mailbox, travel expenses for when we go out of town, visa license monthly, and then our motorbike costs, as well as our video subscriptions, things like YouTube. I think we had ESPN, and we had Netflix. We had a few different things there when we first got here, and then our final category is for weed. So that wasn't necessarily in our budget when we first moved here because I took a 75-day break, so we didn't really have anything for the first couple months at least. So again, like I said, when we first moved here, we got a condo for a month so we wouldn't be rushed while we were looking for a new place to live for the year. And so the first place we got was 10,000 baht a month, and then we paid utilities on top of that. And so it was 318 total, and I think just the 10,000 baht was around $218 or $220. Anyway, our utilities cost us $100 because we accidentally left the air conditioner on when we left. We didn't notice it until the end of the month when we went to give the keys back to our landlord. So that was $318 for rent for that first period from July to August 9th. That's what all these numbers will be until I get to August. In August, we started doing everything for the whole month. Rent's due on the 9th, but everything else we started adding up from the 1st to the end of the month. So those months will be complete. So after the rent, our groceries for that first couple weeks was $67. And everything's mixed in there for that number of fruits and snacks. And our utilities, like I said, we have that combined because we just paid it all at once as part of the first 318. Restaurants. So when it comes to restaurants, at first we had these categories split into like street food and restaurants, but I'll show some pictures here. When you think about restaurants in Thailand, there's some restaurants that have like doors on them and air conditioning, and you go inside and you can sit there and eat in a restaurant. Lots of restaurants are open air. There's tables inside. They have a regular kitchen, and you order your food. The waitress brings your food, and then there's other ones that are like, it's just a tents set up in a parking lot, and they're cooking up front, and they've got some tables set up, or it might be just on a street. They have these, instead of like buildings for restaurants, they've got like cement slabs with not huts, but just like kind of like tents, really. And they have them set up kind of the same way, where they've got a cooking area, and then they've got some tables set up. They all usually have fans to keep the mosquitoes off you, and just kind of keeps it cool and bearable while eating in 95-degree weather. Honestly, we eat most of our meals in our condo. We have them delivered. Grab is a delivery service here in Thailand, and it's really cheap, usually free. Sometimes we might pay 50 cents for delivery. I think the most we've ever paid is $1. I'm not sure if we even pay that $1, because we probably use some coupons to not pay that. Yeah, so when you're looking at restaurants, they're all different kinds, and a lot of the ones that we eat from, we don't even know what some of them look like, because we just order it through Grab, and it just gets delivered, and they drop it off downstairs, and we just go pick it up and bring it back and eat it here. So after restaurants, we spent $3.21 that first period. Drinking water, we spent $5. I think we pay something like, over there we were paying 1 baht per liter. I think over here we're paying something like almost 3 baht per liter. But I think we still spend the same amount of money for water. Entertainment, I mean, when it comes to entertainment, I don't know. We're not like young. We're not, we don't we don't party that much anymore. Definitely don't go to bars. We thought like Muay Thai fights would be something that we would do, but honestly, they're on live every Friday night right here in my living room. And I'm sure that the Muay Thai crowds are more palatable than like a UFC crowd, which is our other favorite thing to watch. But yeah, so we didn't really find ourselves like spending money for that. And I think we did go 1 month. We went to the Sanctuary of Truth, which is a temple that costs money to get in. So that we probably have that on that month. But so anyway, so entertainment, there hasn't been a whole lot of entertainment except for like going for walks. All right, so entertainment, it's not really a thing for us. It's at least spending money on it. I mean, we are entertained all the time, and we go for walks. Anyway. So next category: Grab, Bolt, in-town transportation. We set $50 for our budget for that, and that first period we spent, I think it was probably 40 that we spent just coming down here from Bangkok from the airport. And then we went to go see our visa agent, so we spent a little bit on that too. So we spent $46 for taxis that first month, not month, sorry, I keep saying that, but it's just that first 11 days. Our internet phone, we set a budget for $30, and when we first got here, I went and got some data at 7-Eleven, and let me tell you, if you're coming to Thailand, I mean, if you're only here for a week or two, that might be good, but it really is kind of a hassle, and you might want to just go into a store or get an eSIM is probably the best thing to do. But I spent $10 for my first month, and we had some data, so we used that. And I think that's all we had for that month. So medical. So now you see that we have a budget here of $268. We didn't have that. So that first period we got here, we have it as a zero. But our first 3 months here, we got travel insurance. We didn't get our regular medical insurance here in Thailand for expats. So our first 3 months is going to be $100 a month, because we paid $300 for the first 3 months for both of us. So I don't have anything here, but it says $268 because that ends up being what we pay for our medical insurance here in Thailand. Life insurance, I have some life insurance attached to our bank accounts that I've had since I opened those accounts, so probably over 15 years. So that's what that is. Dental work, we've set $100 for that. And when I first got here, I had a tooth pulled. We both got cleanings. I had planned to do some other work. However, I'm kind of just putting that off until it's really, if I really need it. You probably noticed in a lot of my videos, I'm missing this tooth right here. So. But it's not affecting my ability to eat or anything, so I'm not really ready to put out $6,000 for like a whole top dentures. So we have $100 for dental, and then medical out-of-pocket expenses are things like Tree had some injections in her knee, so we had to go to the doctor for that, and that was kind of a big one. Yeah, so anything that insurance doesn't cover, those will be out-of-pocket medical expenses. And then we have prescriptions, and what you don't see there is supplements, and we've got $50 for that. And we have zeros for dental work that first period. All we were doing was getting our visas done, and just taking care of getting settled in Thailand. So we didn't have a lot of going to the doctor and stuff. So massages, we have $80 budgeted, and those first we didn't have them in July, so they're not showing up here. Incidentals, we've got $100 budgeted. We spent $40, and I think that was for pillows. Pillows is what we got. This is really important. Pretty good ones too. So the next category is our virtual mailbox. We pay $8 for our virtual mailbox, and they are great for all of our mail in the U.S. gets forwarded there, and if there's something there that we want them to open, they'll open it for us and show us what's in it. If we need it mailed to us, they will mail it to us, and then they also provide a service for depositing checks. And we've had some checks sent to Tree's dad's house, and we had to get them forwarded over there and they have a system set up where they can do a deposit into our bank account for that. So that's been really handy. So if you are moving out of the country, I highly recommend a mail service. The next thing we have on here is travel expenses. We've got $100 in there. That's probably low, but if we average it out through the whole year, it's probably going to be about that. That first month, our travel expenses were the hotel we stayed in up by Bangkok. Any food and traveling was in there, minus the taxi. So there was $100 for the hotel and expenses there. And now we have $174 budgeted for our visa license, and that number came in after we got our driver's licenses, because we knew what the visa was. I think it was $150 for our visa, and then once we added the license, it ended up being another $24 each for that first year. But those costs won't go into the next year because that covers us for 2 years. So there's that, and then the motorcycle costs. So I bought a Yamaha Nuovo 135cc motorcycle from my friend up in Chiang Mai when we were there in December, and I traded a crystal and partial cash for it. So I just got the cash part in here. I gave him $200 cash, and then we paid $100 to get the motorcycle shipped to Pattaya from Chiang Mai. So that's our budget, even though we don't have anything for this month. Subscriptions, we're talking about Netflix, YouTube, ESPN, and so we had those when we first got here, and we said 40 budgeted, but we were spending 30 a month. So that's our first period of when we were here, from July 28th to August 9th. So now we're going to go to actual full months. So this is August. So we got this place. This place actually does have a pool and a gym, and we've used both. They have a steam room too, which has never worked. But the condo's nice. We got a 2-bedroom condo on the 8th floor, overlooking the Jomtien night market. So we got a great ocean view. And you can see it here. And so we've really loved it. It was a little bit more than we had planned to spend, but we had a little bit of windfall when we first got here. So we're like, yeah, let's just go for it and see what it's like living in a high-rise, which neither one of us had ever done before. So our condo is $19,000 baht a month, so that fluctuates with the baht. But we figured it's right around $550 now. At first it was $556, so like that fluctuates. So we've got that in for August. Groceries, we spent $293 on groceries, and I think this is where we had combined fruit and snacks with the groceries. Oh, that's right. Tree was also cooking a little bit here. And so we combined the fruit and snacks with the groceries. And then restaurants, again, in August, we were really high because we were eating twice a day. We were having like full meals twice a day. So that $451, I was kind of shocked. So we just had to like kind of figure out what we were doing there. The next category is drinking water. And we've got 0 here, but we definitely drank water that month. So we're probably going to have to add $10 to that. No, $5 to that. Oh, yeah. Entertainment. So, again, nothing on entertainment. Taxis that month, we spent $43 going to get, did we get our...
we were getting a bunch of...
Our visas, going shopping, going to the mall and stuff like that. Yeah, we hadn't started taking the bot bus yet. Here in Pattaya, they have what's called a bot bus, and for 10 baht, you could just jump. They're always going down the street, and if you're just standing on the side of the street, they'll pull over, and you just get on, and that costs 10 baht to go into central Pattaya. If you're going to go further than that to the big mall in North Pattaya, they charge another 10 baht. So we figured that out. So we do that more than take taxis across town now. The internet phone here, we've got 30 budgeted. 25 is for Tree's phone and for the internet. We've got pretty fast internet here. I think we got 600 up and 600 down, and we pay $16 a month for it. And then Tree's phone is $9 a month, and it has unlimited data and enough calling, for what she needs if she's not somewhere where there's Wi-Fi. Yeah, most people in Thailand use Line and WhatsApp for making phone calls. So yeah, a lot of businesses do that, not everything like that. So that's internet and phone. Medical, again, we know what our insurance is, so we've got $268 budgeted, and we spent $100 that month for medical. Do you remember what it was, Tree?
That was our travel insurance for 3 months.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so this is our travel insurance that we got when we first got here. So the first 3 months will be $100. Our life insurance, again, that's the same every month from the one I got from my bank. No dental work that month. No medical out of pocket either. Next category is prescriptions and supplements. We've got $50 budgeted, and we spent $4, and we spent it on electrolytes when it was hot and sweaty, and we were not acclimated to it yet. So the next thing we have is massages. We have $80 budgeted for massages, which should get you at least 8 massages in Thailand, and so we spent $57 that month. Incidentals. So the first full month we were here, incidentals included things like towels. We bought some household goods. We bought a thing for cleaning vegetables, and we bought a mattress topper. So when we first got our condo, we made a deal with the owners, like, we think the beds are kind of hard. We'd like to get some mattress toppers. And she's like, okay, no problem. I was like, we want foam mattress toppers. So when they delivered them, we opened them up, and they were not foam mattress toppers, memory foam mattress toppers. They were just fiber fill toppers. So we ended up getting a foam one for ourselves. So between the two of those on the bed, it works really good. Again, our virtual mailbox was $8, and our travel expenses were $0 because we're not really going anywhere. Visa licenses, $150. We haven't added the driver's licenses to this amount yet because we haven't got them yet. So our Visa is $150 spread out through the year. Motorbike costs have not come into play yet, and subscriptions are $25, and that includes our YouTube premium, so we don't get commercials. And at this time, I was using a different service for IPTV, and it was a little bit more expensive. And then so IPTV is 2 parts. One part is the service that you order, and then they give you all the login information to be able to connect to it. And the other part of the deal is software that you download. We use Apple TV, so that there's a whole bunch of different ones you can download, find the interface you like and which one works best with your service. And so we download that, and I think that cost me like $3 a month, and I think our service we have now is $4, but back in it was a little bit more expensive, so it was $25 a month. And the last category of weed at $70. We were abstaining when we first got here for the first 2 months, Until October. So the total we spent for our first full month here was $2,093. Over here you see that we have budgeted is $2,551. That we figured that would adjust after we'd been here, for some time, and we found out that it actually has. So a lot of these things, when we don't spend them, they're still in our budget. So if we want to spend more on something else that month, we go, okay, what did we not spend? And where we have some money that hasn't been spent that we can use for something else. So that's always a nice thing to do. All right, so our next month is September, and our budget is still the same, and our rent, same thing, $556. Groceries, $318, which there's nothing in fruits and snacks, and we have $150 for groceries. So between the two of those, we're right there on budget for groceries and fruits and snacks. So anyway, utilities were $87. It was we had the air conditioner. Then we were running the air conditioner both air conditioners in the bedroom and in the living room all day long. After we've been here for a while, we realized that's not really necessary. One air conditioner is plenty. At night, we do use the air conditioner in the bedroom with the door closed, just because it's much more comfortable to sleep in a cool room. So those are our utilities. Restaurants were $3.50. Again, this is when we're eating twice a day. So restaurants were $3.50. Drinking water was $6 that month. Again, no entertainment. Our grab and bolt that month was $26. Usually when we were going to see our visa agent over on the dark side somewhere where the bot bus didn't go, I think by September we had figured out the bot bus. And so when it was someplace that it did not go, we would take a taxi. Actually, we took a taxi 60 kilometers away to go visit a friend in another town, probably 2/3 of the way to Bangkok. It cost us $16 round trip to take a taxi for that. So anyway, yeah, taxis are cheap. Again, internet and phone did not change. That's our internet and Tree's phone. So the next category is medical, and this month we're still on our traveler's insurance, so it's only $100. Life insurance again is $15, and dental work. This is one where I had a tooth pulled, and we got cleanings, and so it was $68 that month for dental work. No out-of-pocket medical expenses, no prescription costs that month, and we had, it looks like maybe 3 massages. We had spent $19 that month for massages. Incidentals, that month we spent $600. So let me see if I can remember what that $600. Oh yeah. So I got a new camera. I got an Osmo Action 4 camera. It's great for doing vlogging. It goes underwater. It's got a long-lasting battery. So anyway, and then our virtual mailbox again. Definitely get a virtual mailbox if you're moving out of the country. It's going to make things a lot easier. Travel expenses, we didn't have any in September. Visa license, okay, so now we've got our driver's licenses in September, and we're up to $174. And like I said, that is spread out through the year. We pay those all at once. So, and subscriptions, we're still on the paying the U.S. price for YouTube Premium and getting the IPTV set up. So our total that month for September is $2,377, and that's, if you took my camera out of there, that definitely puts us way under the budget. So you can see we're starting to get a feel for it in September, even though we're still eating a lot. Okay, so our subscriptions for like our YouTube Premium, at this time we had our YouTube Premium and we had our IPTV. We had canceled our Netflix and our ESPN at this point. And like I said, I was paying right around $17, I think, for the 2 parts for the IPTV. It was, I think, $12.99 for the service, and then $3 or $4 for the software for running it. So that was $25. No weed that month. So we spent $23.77, and if the camera wasn't in there, we would have been way under budget. So you can see that we're starting to bring our budget down, finding the things that are really important, and just seeing what it's really like every month. So okay, so moving along, we've got October. Rent again is going to be the same, even though he's going to fluctuate a couple dollars based on the baht to dollar conversion. So groceries this month budgeted $150. We spent $121. Fruit and snacks we have $150, and we spent $157 on that. Utilities we spent $108, and that was probably our highest month for utilities. We had the air conditioners going all the time. It was very hot. Let's see. Trying to think what else I think just running the air conditioners so much is what kept those prices up that month. So the next thing we have is restaurants, and we were at $300. We're right at our budget at $301. Drinking water is the next one. Pretty standard, $5 a month for our drinking water. Again, no entertainment. And our grab and bolt was $22 that month. So yeah, I think there were days when it was just so hot that we didn't even want to get on the bot bus. We just wanted to take a taxi. And that's also, that $22 is when we went up to see my friend to get some weed. And you'll see that's in our budget when we get down there. Excuse me. Again, no entertainment. Wait, that was the Bolt. Okay. So next one's internet and phone. And so now here we are with the internet and phone. Now has my phone in it and Tree's phone and our internet, right? Tree? And so Tree's phone, I forget exactly what the bot it cost, but her phone ended up costing twice as much as mine. She has unlimited data. I have, I think, 100 gigs of data, or is it 60? Anyway, it's plenty for what I need. I do most of my stuff I'm on Wi-Fi, so I don't really need it. So when I go out places and I need to be able to connect, I do have enough for that. For phone calls, it's good to have a Thai phone for when they're calling you for deliveries and all that kind of stuff. So that's our internet and phones for that month. And now it's pretty much where it's going to be, I think, for the internet and phone. Medical, again, we're on our, I think that's the last month of our travel insurance for $100 a month. Our life insurance is still $15. Dental work was $60 that month. Oh yeah, so I had some more work done that month, and Tree got a cleaning, so that was another $60. Now the big one for that month, which really, was our medical out of pocket. Tree got her shots in both knees. She got I can't even say it. Hyaluronic acid, I think is how you say it, and the other one was just cortisone shots. So she got 2 shots in each knee that day at the most expensive hospital in Pattaya. And so the doctor's fees, the shots, and some medicine that we got on the way out, I think, cost $1,650. And our prescriptions that month were $13. So this is now my allopurinol and some other medications that I'm taking because I'm old. We didn't get any massages in October. Our incidentals were $81. Again, I'm sorry we don't have the raw data of what some of those things were. We weren't keeping the best books at the beginning, so we've gotten better now. So hopefully as we go through these months and looking at the budget, we'll have more information about some of the things we bought that made up those numbers. All right, next category is virtual mailbox. That does not change. That's the same every month. Didn't spend anything for travel expenses, and our visa and driver's license expenses are still the same. Our subscriptions are the same, and this month we spent $74 on weed. That $74 included a water pipe that I got, and yeah, we got 10 grams, and it cost us $74 with the water pipe. So as we move on in some of the other months of what we spent, you'll see how the deals have changed. So that's October. All right, so here we go for November. Again, a lot of these things don't change. Groceries, fruit and snacks, $111 for groceries, $153 for fruit and snacks. And fruits and snacks includes all of our trips to the produce market for watermelon, pineapple, mangoes, bananas.
It's also our drinks too, like
And so it's also like sometimes we get cookies, sometimes we get nuts. It covers all of our like sodas, our sugar-free sodas and things like that. Our utilities were $95 once, up there. We were able to get that down, as you see, when we go into like some of the later months. But for the first 6 months, we were still spending a little more. Restaurants were at $240. All right, so yeah, we're still eating twice a day, not really cooking at home anymore for $240 at the restaurants. Our drinking water is pretty standard, around $5 a month. Another big entertainment month. Our grab and bolt that month was $19. Internet and phone was $30, and again, this is covering my phone, Tree's phone, and our internet. And our medical is $268. So this was the first month of our regular insurance, and we get it through AIA insurance. The things that it covers is if we get hospitalized, if we're in a car accident, if we develop if we have a heart attack or cancer or anything like that, anything that we need to be hospitalized for, it covers all that, and it covers any medicines associated with that. It covers the aftercare associated with that. It does not cover my regular medications that I take, but we can get those over the counter here in Thailand. They're really easy to get. There's only a few things that you have to have prescriptions for, typically narcotics. There's a couple other things, but so So our medical insurance is now $268 a month for both Tree and I. Life insurance is steady at 15. Didn't get any dental work. We didn't have any medical out of pocket costs. We didn't spend anything on prescriptions or supplements that month, but we did spend $30 on massages. Incidentals that month was $48, and one of the big purchases that we got that month was our fan. We went down to the Macro and got a nice, what kind of fan is that? A Sanyo fan. And so we find that just using one air conditioner, as long as we have a fan in the room to like keep things circulated, it's really comfortable. So that was one of the incidentals we got that month. Our virtual mailbox, $8. Visa and license, again, that's we paid it all at once. So that's all through the year for $174 a month. Hadn't got the motorbike yet, but that's in the spreadsheet. Our subscriptions are $25. Anyway, and so we got $144 this month for weed, and that was because we bought some for the next month pretty much. So for this month we were still going to one of the local clubs that charged like 60 baht per gram, and we were buying like 10 grams at a time, and so we probably went and did that like 3 times that month or something like that. Anyway, we started using some of the delivery services. So there's a combination of going to the dispensary and getting the delivery services. So the total for that month is $1,977 for November. Again, our estimated budget is $2,551, so we came up under this month, so that's good. So now we're into December. So December, to the rent, we've got the same $556. Our groceries are less this month at $101, and our snacks are still holding steady around $150. Our utilities was $102 that month. Restaurants was $264. Here we are still having 2 meals a day. Apparently it was until January that we started eating 1 meal. Drinking water was $4 in December. And that's probably because we weren't here for the last month, so we're spending about $1 a week on drinking water. Entertainment, we spent $26 on entertainment. So yeah, and that $26 was spent going to the Sanctuary of Truth. I'll put some pictures up here for the Sanctuary of Truth. That place is awesome. If you ever come to Pattaya, this is the thing that you need to do when you come here. If you only do one thing in Pattaya, go to the Sanctuary of Truth. So we spent $26 on that. We got discount tickets. Our grab-in bolt that month was $21, and one of those bolts was over to the Sanctuary of Truth. Our internet and phone is holding steady at $30. Medical insurance at $268, and life insurance at $15. Again, no dental work or out-of-pocket medical expenses in December. The prescriptions and supplements were $53. I think this is pretty much when I stocked up on like 3 months worth of medications. So we were going to be out of town. I just didn't want to have to be thinking about it. So we stocked up. And massages, we spent $18 on massages that month. So that means we probably had 3 massages, I'm guessing. No, 2, huh? That's with the tip.
Yeah.
And incidentals that month, we spent $41. I'm not sure.
You bought a couple shirts.
Oh yeah, I bought a couple shirts.
Household.
Yeah, just had general household stuff. Virtual mailbox again. Our travel expenses for December, we have budgeted $100 and we spent $371. And that $371 for December was for all of our lodging for our whole trip except for the 2 days in Chiang Mai on the way back. So that was $371 for that. And our Visa license still $174. Our motorbike cost. So here's the motorbike cost. I bought the Yamaha Nuovo 135cc from my friend Ronald. Hey Ronald. And I paid him $200 in cash, and I traded him a crystal carving. So between that and getting it shipped down here was $290 total. I think I said $300 before, but it was actually $290. So it was $90 to ship it and $200 to buy it. So our subscriptions are staying steady at $25, and I think at one point we might have changed the budget to fit some of our costs that are the same every month. And then for weed, we spent $54 in December. Even though we had spent extra in November, we did get some more on the way up to Pi. And so the deals we were getting in those days, we were probably getting 1/3 the amount that we get now for the same amount. So our total for that month, which included all of our hotels traveling up north, was $2,568, which is just a little over our budget of $2,551. So that was December. So in January we're still in Pi, and we are still paying our rent. So our rent for this month is still 556 or 19,000 baht. Our groceries were 123 in December, and our fruits and snacks were 84. Fruits and snacks were lower because we weren't going, while we were traveling, we weren't going to the fruit market every few days to get fruit, and we just weren't having as many snacks in general. Our utilities were a little lower because we were gone part of the month, and our restaurants were 288, which is now, this is when we started eating one meal a day. And but we were also traveling up in Pi, so we were eating at like real restaurants, and we were paying more, like $20 for meals for ourselves instead of $10 for both of us. So it was more for traveling up there. And then our drinking water was $5 again. Entertainment, I'm not sure. We might have to just end up removing entertainment from our budget since we don't really do a lot of it. So we'll see how that goes when we go up to Bangkok next month. Our grab and bolt this month was $23, and our internet and phone was still $30 again. Our medical is our regular medical insurance, so it's $268. Life insurance is the same. Dental work and medical out of pocket, we didn't have any of those expenses in January either. Prescriptions were $9. Prescriptions, massages, we spent $26 on massages in January. So our incidentals that month were $52, and I wish I could remember what these things were. I'm not the one that keeps track of them, so I don't really know exactly what those things were. But again, our incidentals are just things that we use around the house, laundry detergent, soap, shampoo, things like that. So they're just different amounts every month. Our virtual mailbox is still the same, and our travel expenses this month were $153, and that covered our homestay in Chiang Mai for the last 2 days that we were there. It covered our airfare for the both of us from Chiang Mai to Bangkok, which we just booked it basically that day. So it would have been a lot less if we would have booked in advance. So it was $120 to fly, and then we took the bus home, and we must have spent something else there. Anyway, so visa and licenses are $174 again. Motorcycle costs are $42, and that was for my helmet. And then subscriptions again at $25, and weed was $68. And so now in January, I think, is when we started doing those yet? The shipments, like the 100 grams, the 20 and 20.
Yeah.
I think this was the month that we got 40 grams for right around $68. You get 20 of each, 2 different strains. So our budget, our total for that month was $2,030 for a $2,551 budget. So that's pretty good. All right, so that's for the first 6 months, and then there was the 9 days from July to August, and I'm not really including that in this total here. But even if I did, I think we would still be right around our budget. So when I add all the 6 months together, we come out to $14,545 for the full 6 months. And if I divide that by 6, it comes out to $2,424 we spent each month on average. So that still brings us underneath the budget that we set of $2,550. And I think when we remove some of these things that we're obviously not using every month, like entertainment, and that's really the only big one, removing entertainment out of there for $100. But that's still that puts us under $2,500 a month. That works perfect for us. And if you have any questions about any of the things that are in our budget, or things that we that you think we could cut down on, or things that, feel free to leave a comment down there and let us know if you're actually living out of the country, out of the U.S. somewhere. If you're an expat somewhere and you've got a budget, we'd love to hear what your budget is. So please, we feel like we are living a lifestyle that we could have never lived in the U.S. First of all, living in a high-rise condo at the beach would have far exceeded our whole budget every month of $2,500. This condo would cost us at least $4,000 in like San Diego or Long Beach or any place like that. So we're living a lifestyle that we would not be able to live in the U.S. It's not extravagant by any means. You can tell we're just you're just living our life. But I think there are some areas where we'll be able to cut back. And if we haven't told you yet, we're planning to move to Chiang Mai in August after being here for our full year, fulfilling our contract for our lease. And rents up there are way cheaper. We can get a 2-bedroom house for under 10,000 baht. We see them for as low as 6,000 baht. So we're going to be looking for a 2-bedroom, maybe even see some 3 bedrooms for around 10,000 as well. So that's going to really bring our cost down each month. But we're going to keep our budget the same because they've got a smoky season in Chiang Mai, and it sometimes lasts for 3 months. So for the money that we're saving every month between our condo here at 19,000 a month and 10,000 there, figuring 10,000 at pretty much the highest, even if we add another 1,000 to it for utilities, that's going to give us 106,000 baht that we can have to go towards rent and other expenses during the smoky season when we travel. So we wanted to travel around Thailand, so that's going to really prompt us to get out there and go do those things, and living someplace where it's cheaper will just really give us the money to do it. So I think that really covers it. If you have any questions, we'll be doing another one of these probably not till after we move to Chiang Mai. Anyway, so if you stick around this long, please like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for checking us out. Peace.